I've always found solace in the humdrum of delivering pizzas. The routine of it, the roads stretching out like ribbons beneath the sky, always seemed to put my mind at ease. But one delivery, late one foggy Friday night, changed everything. I remember the order was for a large pepperoni and mushroom pizza, nothing out of the ordinary. The address, however, was unfamiliar, located at the edge of town, where the concrete gives way to the creeping wilderness. As I drove, the houses grew sparse, the streetlights fewer, and the darkness more encompassing. My GPS led me down a winding road that snaked through a dense forest, the trees like specters in the mist. The further I drove, the more isolated I felt. The radio was my only companion, crackling with static as if protesting the journey. I couldn't shake off a creeping sense of unease. Finally, I reached the destination, an old, dilapidated building sitting in a clearing, surrounded by the thick forest. It looked abandoned, with no lights or cars in sight. I parked and approached the building, the gravel crunching under my feet. The silence around was deafening, punctuated only by my own heartbeats. Knocking on the door, I called out, announcing the pizza delivery. No response. I knocked again, louder this time, but the silence remained unbroken. That's when I noticed it. A figure standing at a window, partially obscured by tattered curtains. Their eyes were wide, unnaturally so, staring right at me. A chill ran down my spine. Those eyes, void of emotion, felt predatory. I backed away slowly, not wanting to turn my back to the building. When I reached my car, my heart sank. The tires had been slashed, rendered completely useless. I was stranded, alone, with that unnerving building and its eerie occupant. Panicking, I fumbled with my phone to call 911. The operator's voice was a small comfort, advising me to stay in the car with the doors locked. As I waited for help, every shadow seemed to move, every sound a potential threat. I was trapped in a bubble of fear, eyes darting to every corner of the dark forest. Then, in the rearview mirror, I saw it again. The same wide-eyed figure, now smiling, standing just behind my car, my breath caught in my throat. Instinct took over. I bolted from the car, plunging into the woods. Branches whipped at my face as I ran, not daring to look back. I hid under a bush, trying to quiet my ragged breathing. Time stretched on. Every second an eternity, every noise a potential harbinger of doom. Eventually, the sound of sirens pierced the night. I emerged, cautiously, to find police cars by my vehicle. The relief I felt was indescribable. I recounted the night's events to the officers, my words tumbling out in a torrent of fear and confusion. They listened, their expressions a mix of concern and skepticism. A search ensued. They found the tools used to slash my tires, but no trace of anyone in or around that decrepit building. It was as if the person with the wide eyes had vanished into thin air. In the aftermath, I couldn't bring myself to continue delivering pizzas. The open roads that once comforted me now seemed menacing, filled with unseen threats. I took up a job at a local grocery store, finding solace in the mundane tasks and the constant presence of people. Yet the experience lingered in my mind, a nightmare that refused to fade. I often found myself glancing over my shoulder, half expecting to see those wide, emotionless eyes. The feeling of being watched, hunted, never truly left me. Friends and family said it was just a bad experience, that I'd move past it. But how do you move past something that feels so fundamentally shattering? The memory of that night haunts me. The eyes in the window, the slashed tires, the smile in the rearview mirror. They're etched into my psyche. Sometimes I drive past the old road leading to that building, never turning in. It's a reminder of the night when my life took an unexpected turn, a reminder of my vulnerability. I've learned to live with the fear, to accept it as part of my story. But there are nights when the wind howls and the world seems too still that I feel the pull of those wide, haunting eyes, and I wonder what truly lurked in the shadows of that old, forsaken building.